that make up the Fed, where you can see firsthand what exactly we do. I'm here now in Washington, D.C. Behind me is the Board of Governors, which is a U.S. government agency. The board has 7 members, called governors, who are appointed by the U.S. President and confirmed by the U.S. Senate. One thing the governors do is write the regulations that make commercial banks financially sound and that make the nation economically strong. It's the governors' jobs, along with economists and support staff, to study trends in the economy and to help forecast the country's future economic direction. The governors also oversee those 12 reserve banks I showed you earlier. Probably the governor's most important responsibility, however, is participating on the Federal Open Market Committee, or FOMC. Speaking of the FOMC, the meeting room is right next door. Let's take a peek inside. I think a meeting is just wrapping up. Looks like we're right on time. Straight ahead is the FOMC, the Fed's chief body for monetary policy making. Here, the 7 governors from the Board of Governors meet with the presidents of the 12 reserve banks about 8 times a year to discuss the current state of the economy and how to promote steady and sustainable economic growth. While everyone here participates in the discussion, only the voting members actually vote on any actions that the FOMC can take to influence monetary policy. Oh, and when I say voting members, I mean the 7 board governors, plus the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and 4 other Reserve Bank presidents who serve on a rotating basis. As we've just seen, each FOMC meeting ends with a vote on actions that will affect the country's money supply. Not how much is printed, but how much money banks have to lend, which in turn affects the amount of money consumers and businesses have to spend. We'll talk about this more in a minute. Before we do, though, let's follow this Reserve Bank president back to the office to see what goes on there. Buckle up, we're headed west. In all, there are 12 districts in the Federal Reserve, and each is served by a regional reserve bank. Many also have 1 or more branches. As we'll see, reserve banks have 3 main responsibilities: providing financial services, contributing to monetary policy, and supervising commercial banks in their regions. Now don't worry if you didn't catch that the first time through. We'll take a look at each of these activities one by one. First, let's head to the financial services area and see why a reserve bank is often called